Sharada Devi here, and we are in our 27th day of our Ritualize Your Life challenge. 27 days dedicated this day to caring and feeding and taking care of the animals. So warm welcome everyone. Hello Carmen, Om Theo, hello Amelia. Welcome all those that are going to watch the recording. Let's do our prayers as we've been doing every day to Ganesha, the remover of all obstacles, and to Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, and then all the others have time to join for this 27th initiation of our Ritualize Your Life challenge. So for those that are new and chanting is new to you, Vedic chanting has been part of my life for the last 20 years. I've lived in India. I've been living in Bali for 16 years and studying the Vedic tradition in depths, in traditional format, and I've been teaching for 15 years this sacred body of knowledge that helps us and actually is a path to gain freedom in this life and really step into our full power as a human being. So these chants have been passed down from generation to generation, have been chanted for thousands of years. And Sanskrit is a purely spiritual language. It's really the language, we call it the language of the gods and goddesses. And these are prayers to invoke the grace factor, because there are always countless obstacles in any undertaking, in anything we do. And so in the Vedic tradition, we recognize that unseen factor and those obstacles. And in reverence, we ask the universe for those to be removed. And Saraswati we invoke for the knowledge to be with us, the knowledge that is timeless and that which frees. Knowledge here refers to the truth. The truth, according to the Vedic body of knowledge, is that our essential nature is whole and complete and limitless. And not only that, that the self of my being is the self of your being, is the self of every being and this whole universe. So it's a profound vision that has been with me, and I feel very blessed to share this with you today in this Ritualize Your Life challenge. For those that are new to this challenge, we've been doing this for 26 days now. Every day we've been meeting and ritualizing the moment we wake up, to going out of the bed, to taking a shower, to dressing our body temple, to taking food, to praying. Every step on the way we learned how we can ritualize these moments in our life to give meaning and purpose and discover the sacred beauty in everything and in everyone, basically. So let's chant to Ganesha, and if it's new, you can just listen to it or chant after me. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. So, welcome those that have been joining in the meantime. Hello Amarta, Suni, Cosmic Alignment. Sanjit is back. Erin, hello. Hello Jasmine. So good. Today, after having honored the ancestors, yesterday was dedicated to the ancestors, to the elderly people, and to neutralizing the fear of getting old and the fear of death, and seeing it as actually an occasion just like any other for celebration, which I know for many who are new to this teaching that might sound, I don't know how it sounds for you, but not something like you probably have heard. Most people think of death and we look at it as a moment of deep sorrow, and not that we're here to bypass that in any way. Like, of course there's a loss, and of course there's a grieving process, but the Vedic teachings also reveal that like that loss that we experience is not really real. And the Vedic teachings helps us to discover that actually in reality we never lose anything. and that death doesn't mean non-existence. It simply means transformation, change, new beginning. And so we saw all of that yesterday. It was a very profound life. You can go back, it's there in my feed. It really goes into quite depths of the vision of the Veda and how death is really one of the most important rite of passage of a human being, and how we prepare ourselves for it in a dignified, graceful way that we saw yesterday. And so today is dedicated to the animals, the taking care of the animals. In the Vedic tradition, we have 5 daily sacred duties. So the vision of the Veda is, we also call it the vision of wholeness, or the vision of oneness. What does that mean? The vision of wholeness means that you are whole and complete. Your essential nature is whole and complete. The vision of oneness refers to that you are one with all beings. That's the vision. Not something known to us, unless it is. Like maybe we have glimpses, maybe we have those spiritual awakenings, but often this knowledge or this experience, it comes and it goes, and we're constantly trying to attain it again. And so in the Vedic tradition, in the Vedic teaching, it is revealed that actually wholeness and oneness is not something that you attain, it's not something that you experience, but it's an already accomplished fact. It is always here. It is never not here. You are whole, you are free, you are one with all beings. You always were, you always are, you always will be. It's not something that you actually become. Like anything else in life, we become, we transform into, we grow into. But wholeness and oneness is an already accomplished fact. And so if it is already here, it's something to be discovered, to be uncovered, to be seen, to be recognized. Just like Bali, like you hear of Bali, and Bali is already here. It's not that you go to Bali and then you're the creator of Bali, because Bali is already there. Anything in life, it is actually already created, it is already here, and we actually are simply discovering what is already here. And so in the same way, the truth of our human existence and the existence of God is wholeness, is limitlessness, is oneness, and it already is. It's to be discovered. And so, as for those that are serious about this discovery, that have understood that this discovery is actually giving me what I really want, what actually every being really wants, what Christopher Columbus actually wanted, and Albert Einstein wanted, and Freud wanted, and Jung wanted, and every philosopher, every seeker, every person actually, even your mom, actually everyone wants this wholeness and freedom and limitlessness in everything we seek, in those relative accomplishments, in going to Bali or getting married. When we inquire into it, what I really want is wholeness, is limitlessness. And so it doesn't mean we shouldn't go after those things in the world. No, definitely we're meant to fulfill our desires as long as they are within universal values and they don't cause harm to you, to me, or anyone. So the Veda says, no, go and fulfill your desires. It's important to have healthy relationships, grow through your relationships. It's the way how you establish a healthy ego. We saw that in the initiation number 19, if you want to learn more about the view of relationship and the importance of relationship in the Vedic tradition. So when we say that we are here to actually discover the already accomplished fact of limitlessness, it doesn't mean to then take away our desire or interest or even need for the relative accomplishments. The Veda talks from many different standpoints, and it gives us the overview, it gives us the vision, so we understand what is the ultimate goal, while we are fulfilling the relative goals. Because it's very easy that, like, you have a goal And then, in order to get to the goal, you get to pursue a means. Like you get to the goal through the means, through the way, through the tool. For example, you start to even meditate. Like you start to meditate. Why do you start to meditate? Well, because you want to have more peace. You want to feel more at home. And so actually the desire is to feel more whole. I gotta do it like that, shift it. The desire is for more peace. And then you have countless different tools and ways to get there. One of them is meditation. So then you start to meditate. And then you start to meditate and you start to experience this peace through meditation, if you do the right meditations. And suddenly you experience other things in the meditations. We saw that in day number 20. Countless meditations, and our mind is so full with so many different impressions and identities and doubts. So it's very easy suddenly then to get lost in the different meditation. We can suddenly get lost in the different imagination journeys that we can go into. And so suddenly then we become this hardcore meditator, because we find this whole other world in the meditation, and you can have these deep absorbed states, and you can travel to other dimensions, and meditation is so powerful. And so then you start to really fall in love with meditation, and then you become that master meditator. And suddenly you're still only meditating all the time and going on many different journeys. But actually why you started it in the beginning was because you simply wanted to have peace, restfulness. And so often what happens to us is that we have a goal and we have all these different means and ways to get there, and suddenly we become obsessed with the goal or the means, and we forget we forget the end goal. So we become obsessed with the means or the tool, and we forget about why we started in the first place. And so it's the same here when we are on this spiritual journey. For those that are, we have a twofold pursuit. We have the pursuit of knowledge, not academical knowledge, but it's a sacred study. It's a whole topic to uncover. But just for now, it's the path or the journey of study and be exposed to knowledge. Just like anything that you want to know in the world or discover, there's no really action involved. You simply get to know what is already there, and there's no will involved. It's no choice involved. You simply get to use the appropriate means of knowledge to know that which you want to know. But when we want to grow or heal, then there's a lot of action involved. And so we have those two wings. One is the knowledge and one is the action. In the action we have the tools and the meditations and the embodiment rituals and the ecstatic dances and the psychedelic journeys, to meet these parts that do not feel whole, that do not see themselves as whole and complete and limitless and one with all beings. So we have this twofold journey of knowledge and of action, and they go hand in hand. It's like two wings, and so that the bird can fly. And so same for us, we need these two wings in order to be truly free. And so basically the Veda has the whole picture and tells us, pursue, keep in mind your essential nature, why you have come here onto this earth, to discover your wholeness, your oneness. At the same time, we get to honor that we do not feel whole, we do not feel one, we feel limited, we feel not good enough, we feel not beautiful enough, we are afraid of getting old. Why? Because our identity lies with this body. This is my body, and I make a judgment upon myself upon this body. I make a judgment upon myself based on my experience as a child, as a girl, as a boy. I am that son that had this terrible situation at home. I'm this girl who got abused. Right? And so we cannot just bypass the human experience. We get to be with the human. And so that's the action part, that's the taking care part, that's the maturing part, that's the listening part, that's the sadhana really. that's the real spiritual discipline, is to meet all these parts that do not feel whole and limitless. And so the Veda has this whole overview. It's like the bird's view. It can zoom out and see the whole picture, and then it can zoom into the microscopic. I can see the smallest little thing that we are trying to escape or be in denial. You cannot get away from it. Like Veda, she sees it all. It's like your wife. She knows it all. You cannot get away. It's like the mom that is so worried and obsessed about the child. She knows everything. Like, she goes and reads your journal and like, oh, mom. So the Veda is just not that dysfunctional mother. The Veda is a functional mother. We call it Sahasramatra. Sahasramatra means 1,000 mothers, 1,000 functional mothers. And when we say 1,000, it always refers to limitless. So the Vedas looked upon like 1,000 limitless functional mothers that only have the best intention for their children. And the Veda never sees her children as separate from herself, because the Veda, what is Veda? Who is Veda? Like, who is Veda? She is knowledge, and all she sees is oneness, wholeness. That's her standpoint. That's where she stands in, and that's how she looks at everyone and everything. She doesn't see anyone as separate from her or him or them. So that's a huge vision. Like in 17 minutes, I gave you the gist of the huge great body of knowledge, of an ancient knowledge. Ancient, but it refers to it's timeless. It's given to us with every cycle of creation, and we have this privilege to be under that waterfall of Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, and receive this knowledge, this light that removes our darkness, that removes our pain, our self-judgments that we have, that are harming us and hurting us and keeping us limited and bound and small, isolated, lonely, depressed. So we want to get out of all of that, don't we? Like, we're here to get out of all of that smallness and isolation and loneliness and step into that limitlessness, step into that fullness of our existence. You know when you're on your path. You know when you're in your emotions. You know when you're in your heart. You know it. I know you know it. We all know it. We know exactly when you are compromising your values. Right? And there comes a moment in your life where you say, I'm not going to compromise my values anymore. I'm not going to put myself down anymore. I'm just not simply doing that anymore. It's enough. I'm going to stand up for myself, for my values, for my dreams, for my wishes, for my truth. And not only my truth, but that truth. Right? The truth is wholeness. The truth is oneness. It cannot be any other way. Like, imagine you would truly be limited. Imagine you and I would truly be different from each other. There would be no solution. That would mean that you are a miserable being. It would mean that you are an inadequate being. It would mean that you are not good enough. Right? That means you would be born as a suffering being, and you would be in suffering, and you would die in suffering. This is not possible. This universe is not a pain vanam, a pain forest. It's an ananda vanam. It's a forest of joy and fullness and love. There is a solution for every single problem. You are thirsty, there is water. You're hungry, there is food. You take yourself to be limited. You take yourself to be a being that is going to die. There has to be a solution to that. This universe is not dumb. Like, look at this phone that you're looking at. Is that in any way dumb? There's so much knowledge in this phone. There's so much knowledge in this body. How many doctors do we have? Countless doctors. You have an eye doctor, a nose doctor, a throat doctor, a dentist, an ear doctor, a skin doctor. You have a breast doctor, you have a gynecologist, you have a stomach doctor. How do you call them? I forgot right now the proper word for the stomach doctor. Gastro something. You have a doctor for the feet, the pedagogic. No, pedagogic is something when we teach in a certain way. You know what I mean. there's a physiotherapist. Like, there's so many doctors because there's infinite intelligence here and now. This world is not dumb. So our suffering cannot be real. We're only suffering because we don't see things clearly as they are. Gastroenterologist. Okay, yes, gastro, yeah. Thank you, Erin. So many doctors. Like you have the general doctor and then the doctor specializes. The eye doctor, right? There's so much knowledge. So this whole universe is an infinite, intelligent being. It's all intelligence, sacred being. It's not dumb. And so it cannot be that we are limited, that you and I are different. It's simply not possible. The truth is limitlessness, the truth is wholeness, the truth is oneness. And so there's a trust in that. There's something in you. Like I invite us all in this moment, like ask yourself, can it be really any other way? Can it really be that we are limited and different from each other? Because that would mean that all our suffering is real and there would be no way out of it, truly out of it. But if I am limitless, if I am whole, if I am you, if you are me and I'm you and there's only one being, there's no room for limitation. There's no room for separation. That means there's no room for comparison, which means there's no legitimate reason for jealousy. It has to be like that. And you know it. I know you have experienced it. I know you have moments of limitlessness. I know you've had those moments of wholeness and freedom and oneness, either in your spiritual awakening, when you went to India, or in your psychedelic journey, or when you made love, or maybe even when you watched a movie or ate that food that was just, or the concert you went to. Like we have those moments. We have those moments where we are happy. If we wouldn't have those moments, we already would have long committed suicide. Like if we commit suicide, it's because we do that because we don't see any hope anymore. We don't have any hope, trust that it's otherwise. That's so painful. I have been there. I know how it feels exactly. So there is this inner fire that grows, this trust, shraddha, it grows. And that trust becomes deeper and stronger and firmer the more you expose yourself to the Vedic knowledge, the more you do these practices, the more you do these tools, the more you chant the mantras, the more you do the embodiment rituals, the more you share in community, the more you stand up for your values. Like, the truth will always conquer. The truth will always come out. No lie can survive. It will always come out. Even if we don't live it in this life. Like if some people get away with their adharmic action, with their action that go against universal value, it will come out. That's the law of nature. It's not the law of a human being. It's the law of nature. And so, the Vedic knowledge, the Vedic wisdom, I'm here because of Veda. 20 years I've been with the Veda. I've studied Ayurveda, yoga, mantra, kriya, tantra, yantras. Like, I've been immersed in this Vedic knowledge because there's an answer for everything. And you can just be like this child that loves to study and just ask Veda, and it's so wonderful to be able to have this body of knowledge and be an eternal student, because there's so much to learn. It's so wonderful. So basically, the Veda says, in order to own up, in order to abide in the truth, what is the truth? According to Veda, which becomes your truth eventually, that you are whole, you are limitless, you are complete, you are one with all beings. Right? Until that is really, really true and embodied, there's trust in it. The trust will grow into knowledge, and then the knowledge will grow into wisdom, and then the wisdom is simply you. But as that is a process, like anything, there is a maturing process. There is a growing process that has to unfold, that is unfolding, just like a child. Like it grows. It doesn't learn how to speak and walk and all of that just from one day to the other. No, it takes time, but it will learn. And so in the same way, we also, I mean, you, me, I, as human beings that see ourselves as not whole and separate from everyone, for lifetimes we have taken ourselves to be limited and have taken ourselves to be separate. So this impression, this wrong identity, these beliefs are very, 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 very strong, as you know. Like, you know you have this experience and then it comes back. And you know you have this experience and it comes back. And you go to this retreat and you're like, you go home, it comes back. Right? So you get to put yourself into a container, into a situation, into a place where these are not just fleeting moments. You surround yourself with people who live and breathe this. This is their value. They're in the process of owning this truth. So if you're interested, I have an amazing container for this, the diamond that is coming up now and in 1 month. There you're in close proximity with me, Telegram support, 4 times a month we meet to really merge in this. And if the diamond is too big because it's really a mastermind, a mentorship, then there's the Devi Temple. The Devi Temple is a gentler, much, much gentler version with a lot of knowledge, incredible wealth, library of knowledge and sharing circles and beautiful community. So the diamond is that mastermind mentorship for you who already have been on the spiritual path. Like, you know what I'm talking about. But you know, and you're like, I just need the support, the sacred mirror to really embody it. And the Devi Temple is also, but it's more like you either just want to keep it warm or you want to step into it, learn about the knowledge. Because in the diamond, I don't really teach per se. It's more I hold you in your fullness and you lead yourself. In the Devi Temple, there I go step by step, break it down. And you can reach out to me if you want to know more about it, and I can have a call with you. So basically, there comes this moment, and we just we choose this path. It's a choice. You choose this path. I am on the path of freedom, of self-empowerment, of self-love. I'm on the path of discovering unconditional love. That's what I want. And so basically, the Veda says then, if you want to really own up and embody the truth, the limitlessness and wholeness, the vision, then you have 5 sacred duties. You have 5 sacred duties that you get to do every single day. And I live my life like this. My whole myth is around those 5 daily myths, those 5 daily offerings. Those that have done the Heron's journey with me, you know what I'm talking about. So the 5 daily offerings or sacrifices, there's nothing wrong with the word sacrifice. It's a beautiful word. It simply means I'm offering, like I'm letting go of something for the greater good. And there's no martyrdom in there. There is simply an offering in deep reverence and gratitude and understanding that all is given. And I cannot but give back. So those are called Pancha Maha Yagnyaha. Pancha Maha Yagnyaha. So Yagnyaha means offering. Pancha means 5. Maha means big, the greatest. So the Veda says, if you are this truth, you want to own it, claim it, live it, teach it, embody it, there are 5 daily offerings that you get to do every single day. For what? For cosmic harmony. For cosmic harmony. We saw that we're doing this whole Ritualize Your Life challenge to become a contributor. As long as we're competitors, we're still completely going against our nature. What is our nature? Oneness. If I'm still in the Western myth, caught that you and I are fighting against each other, and I have something that you don't have, and you have something that I don't have, and we're competing and jealous, and we're going completely against our nature. So ritualizing our life is here to come back to the sacred symbiosis, the law of nature, where everyone gives back. And you just look at nature, and the sun gives back every single day. The waters give back every single day. The air gives you back every single day. The plants every single day. The animals give us unconditionally every single day. Like nature is, by nature, it gives. That's the nature. And so here we got to be careful, because often we as women, we become overgivers. So that's a lot to talk about it, to understand that. So here it's not to go into overgiving, but we want to understand how full this world is. Like, it's the vision of wholeness, fullness. We have been given so much. It's infinite what we have been given. And what we want is to get out of the notion that I'm actually, eventually, I'm giving something. Like, actually, I'm not giving anything, because it doesn't really belong to me. I'm not the creator. Like, you have not created this world. You have not created your body. You're not the creator of your skills. Everything has been given to you. Everything. And in that assimilation, that ahankara, that ego that has identified with the role and the action and the accomplishments. I have done so much, I've sacrificed so much in order to have all of this. Yes and no. Like, all this sacrifice that we're feeling, it's because from the beginning, from the first place, I didn't have the full picture. I was looking at things from this limited view, instead of being able to zoom out also and see it from the big picture. Like, it's not mine to give, really. I'm here participating like all other beings as well, here to create symbiosis, harmony, balance, contribute. And so then there's also a healthy understanding of how much I give, and when is it time to just give to myself. Like, then I know, I listen to my body, I'm in tune with the nature of my body, I'm in tune with the needs of my body, and I attend to them first, naturally, before then I actually give to the world. There is not the possibility really anymore to totally overgive, once we have really, like, are in attunement with the laws of nature. So we naturally give to this body, like, because we don't see this body just as a problem and as a difficult, painful body. No, like, as we've seen every single day, this body is my instrument, and I know I cannot function without my instrument. So I'm going to take care of this instrument. I'm going to bathe it, I'm going to do exercise, I'm going to pleasure it, I'm going to feed it. Like, I'm giving back to my body so that I have my healthy instrument, so that I can give and share and make music with my instrument and participate in the magic of life. But I cannot really participate if I haven't taken care of this first. Right? And this is so close to me. So of course I'm going to take care of this first. Like, it's right here with you. So of course I'm going to take care of this first. And then I'm starting to take care here and outside. Right? I'm going to clean and wash and take care of the environment. But I'm taking care of myself first. It has nothing to do with, what's the word? Narcissism. No, it's everything to do with self-love and self-knowledge. So, okay, going back to the 5 daily offerings, the 5 daily duties, they're called duties, of a human being who is committed to the truth of freedom and wholeness and oneness. What are those 5? Those 5 Panchamahayagna are to create cosmic harmony so that we are in balance with all beings, and we are honoring and balancing the unseen aspect of life. Like, we're often in our Western culture, we're only paying attention to what is seen. We're not paying attention to the unseen factor of life. But the unseen, the nishkala, we call it sakala and nishkala. The nishkala is 97% more, or is 97%, and 3% is what we see. Like, the unseen world is infinite, is so much vaster than what we see. And that then goes into the law of karma. And I may not always get immediately what I want, but then in the wide view, I get everything what I want and need immediately, actually, always. So this cosmic harmony, and so to truly create balance between the seen and the unseen world, and who are masters in that? The Balinese people. I lived there for 16 years. They do offer these yagnas every single day. They understand totally this relationship of the seen and the unseen. 50% of what comes in goes out into the unseeable. Like 50% of what comes in, it's given back to the community, it's given back to the trees, it's given back to the temples, it's given back to the animals. It's not just hoarded, no, it's shared. And that's why in the Veda it says, may all dharmis be rich, may all people who have this understanding of oneness, they're maybe not yet there, but they have this trust, this understanding, and this value for truth. Those are the dharmis, may they all be rich. Spiritual people are not meant to be poor. And so if you have any thing in your mind that spirituality and money doesn't go together and you shouldn't be charging for your offerings, that's all part of this nonsense, wrong spirituality that we have in this era of this cycle of creation, which we call Kali Yuga. The spiritual people, they got that. Those are the ones that get to be rich, right? The real ones, the dharmis, because they know how to share the wealth. And so, like my diamond program, this mastermind mentorship, it's actually all about that, to polish the diamond and for you to feel absolutely worthy to charge for your offerings. Because money is a jewel. Mani in Sanskrit means a jewel. The money is here as a sacred exchange, so that we can grow together and sustain, be healthy, take care of each other. So the 5 sacred offerings, the Panchamahayagnas, to establish, maintain, sustain cosmic harmony. The first one is called Deva Yagna. So Deva Yagna is the offering to the Deva, the Devis, the Devata. The Deva, Devi means the god or goddess, means that which shines, that which is self-shining. And so it refers to the unseen factor. So in terms of to daily honor through a ritual, through a prayer, if that is lighting a candle, if that is offering some water, if that is doing Surya Namaskar, the salutation to the sun, it's your daily offering to acknowledge the unseen and the unseeable and all the sacred beings, all the gods and goddesses. Like we talk about many gods and goddesses in the Vedic tradition, but really there are not many gods and goddesses. There's only God. All that is here is sacred. But that one non-dual being manifests as many forms, many names, many gods and goddesses. And so we're propitiating through Deva Yagna the 5 elements. So for those that have been with me, that for example your Panchopachara puja, your 5-step puja, you do that, or 1-step puja. What we have done also at the altar, actually, like that initiation number 18, establishing an altar and offering a flower and lightening the candle, that would go under Deva Yagna. So then we have a value to really do it every day. But you can be creative, like there's a million ways how to do Deva Yagna. Second one is Pitra Yagna. Pitra Yagna is what? Who remembers the mantra of yesterday? Om Pitra Devataye namaha. To all the ancestors, to all the elderly, we revere old age. We revere death. We're not afraid of old age. We're not afraid of death. We don't shame it. We don't look at it as a curse. We revere it. We see the beauty, the sacred in old age, in death. And so we have a reverence for our elderly people every single day. We saw that initiation yesterday. It was very deep yesterday. So if your heart is churning, like it's a good sign. It means the teachings are really landing. And so in the Veda it says, like those Panchama Yagnas, those 5 daily offerings, one of them is Pitra Yagna. Every day we honor our parents. And it can just be through a thought, like to take a moment to think of them. In the moment when you want to like say something nasty or not pay attention to your mom and dad. Pitra Yagna, no, I'm going to make the effort and pay attention. I'm finding an elderly person, or not you're going to like, but if there's an elderly person, smile at them, give them a compliment. Yeah. So many elderly people are so sad, so alone, so frustrated. And we saw how we can avoid that and have a different retirement plan. Like if you want to have the retirement plan of all retirement plans, watch my live yesterday. Like in the Veda, it's not to be all by yourself and end up lonely and frustrated. No. If you have the retirement plan according to Veda, you will end up with many people around you, and they will love you and cheer you, and you will be full in yourself, by yourself, and have your heart to share with the world, and people will love to be around you, and you will never be alone. But you're always alone, and you're not afraid of being alone, because you know that you're never alone. Right? So, Pitra Yagna, that's the second. Now the third one, and now it all makes sense why I'm sharing with you what we're sharing, because the third one of the Panchamahayagnas is... No. I mean, exactly. Actually, I'm shifting now the Reihenfolge, the order, but actually, usually the third one is actually Rishi Yagna. Okay, let's do that first. It's not like set in stone that this has to be the Reihenfolge. But actually, the third one is Rishi Yagna. So, Rishi Yagna is the offering to the sacred knowledge, to the teaching. So, if you have learned something that has blessed your life, if you have done a mentorship, a coaching program, a craniosacral therapy, yoga, meditation, whatever it is that has blessed your life, you're actually meant to share it with the world. It says in the Veda, like you got to share it. Like if you really don't feel like you're a teacher, it's totally fine. But you can always like share it with someone that maybe is like needing an advice, if they're open for advice. You can also do the Rishi Yagna by continuing your study, continuing your emotional and spiritual growth. Because through that yagna, through that daily offering, we are propitiating the lineage of the truth. If we stop, then the others won't really win. Like the others, not that they are really others, but if we talk about the dharmis and the adharmis, like the ones that do not follow universal values anymore, those forces have become very strong. Like we are in an era, in the cyclical nature of this world, this manifestation. In the Veda we talk about 4 eras. You've heard it maybe from the Greek tradition, the golden, the silver, the bronze age. In the Veda we have Satya Yuga, Tretara, Dvipara, and Kali Yuga. And so we say that we're in this Kali Yuga, and we are, because the ignorance, the darkness is so strong right now, as though it seems as if like at times the dark forces would take over and win. And for some time it seems like they're winning, and they maybe win a few battles. Like it really refers to your own inner demon. Like your own inner demon, sometimes they come and they're nasty and they take you for a ride. But then you always come back to yourself. Like you know the truth. Even if you're in the darkest moment, like you know the truth in your heart. What we started with. You come back. It's there, the shraddha, the trust, like the love that is there. And all you got to think is like of an animal, or of a teacher, or a friend, or the Dalai Lama, or a song. Like countless helpers and allies are there that are here to remind you of what is ultimately true. Like, and so that Rishi Yagna, it refers, yes, to the Rishi. Rishi means a seer of truth. And like anyone that has a value for truth. And so you honor, propitiate that every day to keep this lineage alive, your legacy. Then the 4th one is called Manusha Yagna. Manusha Yagna is the offering to all beings, your community, your neighbor, your friends. How can you reach out? How can you support? To the extent that you take care of yourself, as we've seen, And then, like, how can you give? Maybe, you charge. Like I said, I want all dharmis to be wealthy and rich. But within that, you can have 1 or 2 sponsorships. I have that in all my courses. I charge for my courses. There's always 1 or 2 people that are on sponsorship. For years and years and years, I taught all by donation. I did not charge 1 cent for so many years. And it actually always came back. I was always taken care of. It was a wonderful experience. It is a wonderful experience. So, like, having this deep value to reach out, give back, do donation classes, make some food and just give it to someone, invite somebody. Annadanam, we call it. So there's countless ways of Manusha Yagna. And then now the last one, so now it all ties together. The last one is called Bhuta Yagna. So what is Bhuta Yagna? Bhuta Yagna is the offering for Bhuta Yagna is the offering for all animals and plants. But now here we do first the animals. Tomorrow we see the plants. So the animals and the plants can either go in one, or they can, but I teach you another mantra tomorrow specifically for taking care of the plants. Like most of us have plants, so it's really nice to chant to them and sing to them. But so the 5th one of the Bhuta Yagna is for the animals and the plants. So today we focus on the animals. So in the Veda it says, like, the one dedicated, committed to the truth, which is wholeness, oneness. We have this daily duty to establish, maintain, sustain cosmic harmony between all living beings. And so the 5th of those daily offering is Bhuta Yagna, the offering to the animals. The animals are our friends. Like, to not slaughter them. Give them a beautiful home. If you choose to eat meat, make sure to say a prayer to those animals that have sacrificed their life so that you can live. Okay? Feed the animals. Like I love to, like, now there are many bees, so I take an orange and I just put an orange, put it there to feed the bees. We have little geckos in Bali, and my teacher often would just put some rice there, and then the geckos come and eat the rice. I have fish. We feed the fish. So how can we take care of our friends, of our animals? Because we depend on them. They depend on us. The bees, how can we take care of the bees? Maybe you love bees and you can become a beekeeper. So that's a lot of Bhuta Yagna. We know that, like, without the bees, this whole fauna and everything would disappear. We need the bees to pollinate. So we depend on the mosquitoes. There are no mosquitoes. What are the frogs going to eat and the spiders? Every animal has a purpose. And so you neutralize any disgust towards any animal, any fear that you have towards any animal, high fish, sharks, and spiders, and snakes. They're not dangerous by nature. They're only dangerous if they're hungry. But they're not malice. They're not mean. They don't kill to hurt someone, just to hurt. They kill so that they can live. Animals are sacred beings, like the infinite intelligent being in the form of all the animals. And the more we know about the animal, the more your fear will be removed. If you're afraid of snakes, study snakes. If you're afraid of spider, study spider. If you're afraid of sharks, study sharks. The knowledge will take away your fear. First, the relative knowledge, as you understand, it's how fascinating they are. And then you study the absolute knowledge, which is the knowledge of the limitless self, the self that is free from death. So you know that even if this body dies, you don't die, and it takes away all your fear of any animal. And if an animal comes and eats you, you're like, okay, animal, you can eat me. I've eaten you many times, so now it's for you to enjoy my body, right? It's a big order, right? But that's what the Veda says. So the mantra for the animals here, my prayer, I invoke the sacred in all animals. May they all be protected, right? So may they all have protected. May we take care of them. May they take care of us. And also understand if their life is over, like that's in order, because they're now exhausting that particular animal body, and then they have another body. The animal body is not in any way a lesser body, really. It's equally sacred. The difference is, in the animal body you don't accumulate new karma, which you do in a human body. You only exhaust karma. So that's the spiritual aspect of it. And so in our prayer of ritualizing our life, I invoke the sacred in all animals. May they all be protected. May they protect me. May we protect each other. May we honor each other. May we care for each other. So you can say and add to your own prayer. And then the mantra is Om Pashupataye Namaha. Om Pashupataye Namaha. So Om, then Pashupataye. Pashupataye. Pashu. Sha is always strong. And then there's only a long A at the end. But A is always long. And then namaha. The namaha, I went into depths what namaha really means in the initiation number 21. If you want to go deeper, what namaha really means. But the short meaning is I invoke, I offer, I welcome, I let go. Om Pashupataye Namaha. Om Pashupataye Namaha. So now we chant this together, and I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. If not, keep them open and just see all the animals. See the giraffe, see the tigers, see the animals, the cats, the dogs, the cockroaches, the snakes. Chant Om Pashupataye Namaha. Pati is the protector. Pashu is animal. I chant to the protector of all animals. Om Pashupataye Namaha. 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 3 more times. Om Pashupataye Namaha. Om Pashupataye Namaha. Om Pashupataye Namaha. Thank you to all the animals, to the cow, the sacred cow, Surabhi, the sacred horse, Uchai Shravasaha, the sacred elephant, Ganesha, the sacred monkey, Hanuman. All these sacred animals, all our friends. The fish, Matsyendriya. Kurma, the sacred turtle. The sacred lion, Narasimha. The snake, Ananta Shayanam, Kundalini. They're all our friends. Spider Devi, Nabihi, Ashtalakshmi, the sacred eagle, Garuda, the sacred bull, Nandi. What is the quality of the animals? Hamsa Dhwani, the sacred swan. Their qualities of deep devotion. How devoted is a dog to their inhaber, to the one that takes care of the dog. The devotion of Nandi to Shiva. The devotion of Hamsa Dhwani, of the sacred swan, to Saraswati. The devotion of the mouse to Ganesha. It's unwavering devotion. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vaham yaham. Anayasena maranam vinadainyena jivitam dehi me kripaya shambho tvai bhaktim achantara. So the unwavering devotion, ananya bhaktihi. Ananya bhaktihi means, the bhakti means devotion. Anya means other. Ananya means there is no other. And so for the animal, like in all the mythology, they're always with their friend, their god, goddess. And the animal, he doesn't see any other. He only sees himself, herself. Complete devotion, bhakti. And those are the two most important qualities. Shraddha, trust, which we've seen at the beginning, and bhakti, devotion. Most important qualities for what? To abide in the truth, that you're limitless, whole, complete, and one with all beings. So care, feed, and walk the animals while seeing the sacred in them. Om. Om. We're going to conclude here our initiation. And one of the mantras I chanted at the end is a different mantra that I wanted to chant. Just for those that understand Sanskrit. It's very similar one to the one that I wanted. And another little mistake that I did, I don't know if you've noticed, is that actually today is 26. It's not 27. So I did the 27 now. But now that today is just 26, it's no problem. Like so, but actually I had in my whole thing, I had 26. 26 would be today. Today's 26, but maybe you've seen it on the cover. It's at 27, and I also said 27 at the beginning. But tomorrow is the day 27 of our Ritualise Your Life challenge. Okay, thank you everyone for being here. So sweet. I'm feeling you. How is your heart? Thank you, Satyama. Love that you're doing this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you were asking where I'm going. I'm going to Switzerland tomorrow. And then the day after to Italy. I have a yoga teacher training there where I'm the philosophy teacher. Oh yes, and by the way, today the Super Maha Early Bird Prize for the Priestess Initiation Training in Bali ends. Today is the last time. You can get the Super Maha Early Bird. After that, the price is going to go up. You get the Maha bonus of 1 year in the Devi Temple. And my Priestess Initiation Training is a training I've done, I think, 5 times in Bali. And it's a most beautiful journey of life, literally. I walk you through from birth all the way to death. we go through all these most important phases that we experience as a human being. And we're going to make up for that which we didn't get or needed to really have to feel deeply empowered and have a sense of belonging and worthiness. So we're based in the mother of Bali, in the womb of Bali. 18 days, it's an 18-day training in Mother Bali from March 1st to March 18. And yeah, held in the teachings of the Veda. We have priestess and priests from Bali coming and doing ceremony. I have co-facilitators, incredible co-facilitator. It's really a very beautiful journey. And if you want to have this Vedic priestess experience, Bali is really the one to be in the culture where they live and breathe this vision of oneness. So so the early bird ends today. And if Bali is not for you, I have a very special immersion in October this year in Portugal. That's closer, in Europe. I'll talk about that another time. So what is Erin saying? So beautiful that we take the shape of so many animals in asana embodiment oneness. Yes, exactly. So in the asana, in the yoga, we are embodying actually this goddess, the vision of oneness in these animals. So it's really to actually go into it and really feel oneself as such, and in that way also neutralize the separation or the idea, the notion of separation, that I'm different from the dog or different from the cat, that actually they are me, I am them. We have these qualities and I can bring out those qualities. Yes. Amrita says, gracias, se sienten los cambios con tantos rituales. Oh, qué bueno, me alegra mucho escuchar. Thank you, Katarina. Theo, thank you, Devi, for bringing the jnana wing of the bird and teaching us how to be in the action to fly. Yes, I love that. For bringing the jnana wing of the bird and teaching us how to be in the action to fly. Yes. Thank you all for joining, for your commitment, your trust, your devotion. I can feel it through the screen. Oh, much love. Om Tat Sat. And if we wake up tomorrow, I'll be in Switzerland, where I grew up in the mountains, and I will call in from there. Om.